Hello and welcome to Matt's B-Movie Reviews, a show that looks at cult films that may have escaped your radar. Wow, it's finally here, the review you know I've been looking forward to. Oh no. Oh no, not again. No. No. No! Yeah, right. The Asylum Sci-Fi Channel released Sharknado 2. Was it worth a watch? And can you believe the hype that it's terribly good and not just terrible? Let's find out. Feature presentation. Finn and his wife, played by Tara Reid, are heading to New York to promote their latest book, How to Survive a Sharknado and Other Natural Disasters. But things get off to a bad start already when their plane is attacked by sharks at 40,000 feet. It can only get worse as they realise that a monster storm is on the horizon and it looks like the Big Apple's going to get a rather large bite out of it. Oh, thank you. Can Finn meet up with his sister and some of his old New York pals to stop a disaster of biblical proportions? So that's about as much plot as you need to know, since the film is essentially a video game where characters head to one place to gather weapons and then have to outrace the enemy to get to the next safe place. In fact, I really hope that they make this into an app, because I'd buy that for $1. Now, the opening scene was epically so bad that it was actually riveting, in my opinion. Cameos galore, with Kelly Osbourne playing a stewardess and Will Wheaton playing a terrified passenger, made for some humorous death scenes. Plus, as Finn looks out of the window and thinks he sees something shark-like in the clouds, he goes into a full William Shatner impression. There's some got the wing! Some thing. And then Tara Reid's acting ability gets very much tested as she tries to avoid being sucked out of the plane whilst shooting a shark with a handgun. Then out of nowhere the shark swoops down and bites off her hand, and then she gives the worst, crappiest scream on film I have ever heard. My hand. In fact, that was actually better than Tara Reid's performance in this movie. Don't worry, Tara, that shark's harmless. I'm sorry. Could not help myself. Could not literally help myself. But don't feel too sad for her. I suspected there was a motive for her losing that limb in the beginning. And in the closing scene of the film, she goes all Ash style and equips an electric saw to slice and dice the sharks. Groovy. I've got to say, with this movie, the budget looks like it's shot up tenfold, which is unsurprising because the press and the amount of hype that Sharknado 1 received is sure to have earned Asylum Studios a hefty chunk of change. Ah, Asylum Studios, the filmmakers that brought us Sherlock Holmes. You know, I'd even go as far to say that the CGI has had a money shot in the arm, although it still looks like a 12-year-old digital animation project. You know, there's so many epic one-liners in this movie, it's beyond belief. Like Finn's own judgment of the movie. Even Sharknadoes are tougher in New York. Okay, yeah. Right down to the line spouted by the mayor where he says, "This is the Big Apple. When something bites us, we bite back." Oh yeah, baby. Oh god, and the scene where Finn is stuck on top of a taxi cab while the water levels are rising and sharks are swimming dangerously close. How the hell is he going to get out of this situation? Easy, he simply shouts, "Frogger," and like the 80s Atari game, he jumps on the back of passing sharks to make it to safety. Unbelievable. Now, I've got to admit, I enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed the first movie, which in my opinion is simply garbage. Sure, Sharknado 2's extremely flawed, but this movie actually feels like the B-movie ride we were promised in the first place. It has so many madcap moments, like the scene with the Statue of Liberty's head bowling after some characters down a street, scenes involving daytime TV hosts being attacked by sharks live on the air, and flaming sharks raining down on crowds of New Yorkers. Absolutely bonkers. Oh, and lastly, I've got to mention this, the scene where the New Yorkers arm themselves with weapons to defend themselves from the falling sharks. One guy grabs a machete from his trunk. Okay. Another one manages to grab a full arsenal of automatic weapons from his trunk. Right. And then one yokel grabs 3 chainsaws from the back of his pickup truck, revs them up and simply throws them into the tornado, where they go round and round and round, chopping the sharks into kibbles and bits. Has to be seen to be believed, people, honestly. So what's my verdict? I'm a bit hesitant to actually put this on the record. So what I will say is this: crack open a few beers, get some friends round, stick this movie on the telly, and you won't regret it. Much. That's my review in a nutshell. Please feel free to leave your own reviews in the comment section below or via my Facebook page as usual. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.